Welcome to TFN Smart Trading Action Alert. I'm Laura Cadden. Fears that American economic growth may be slowing have been affecting the U.S. dollar and stocks in recent weeks. Except for oil and gold, most commodities have been reflecting expectations that slower growth may result in lower demands for resources. Base metal prices in particular have extended losses due to higher inventories. On the London Metal Exchange, 3-month nickel prices have fallen to $28,600 a ton from $31,400. Zinc is down to $2,240 a ton from $2,510. But the commodity supercycle has created its own dynamics in the mining industry. Record high prices have made exploration in even the remotest and undeveloped areas feasible. My guest today is small cap commodity prospectors resource specialist Andrew Mickey. Welcome back to the show, Andrew.
Thanks for having me.
Now, you just got back from a trip to Europe. Tell me where you went and why.
Well, that's correct. We went a lot of places. We went to Norway, Russia, just check out a lot of properties. But the main reason I was over there was to go to Albania. What they have there in Albania is known as a volcanogenic massive sulfide deposit. And actually, they have at least 17 that we know of, possibly 29, 32, but that's stuff we're not 100% sure of. And as what we've seen throughout history with companies like Hudbay Minerals, when we saw the stock just shoot from $2 to $20, and VMS Ventures just a couple weeks ago, when they found just a single VMS deposit go from 20 cents a share to $1.50 a share in only 3 weeks. Like, we know the value of a single VMS deposit. In Albania, we have a company that has 17. So that's why we were there in a country that most people consider backwards.
So VMS deposits come from underseas volcanoes, correct? Does this make extraction, they're created by that, aren't they?
That's correct. What happens is underneath the oceans, right to ocean floor, 10,000, 100,000 years ago, a volcano would erupt and form this deposit. And within there's tons of the highest grade zinc and copper in the world. And then there's also gold and silver usually found in there. And it's such high grade that it's not affected by commodity prices. And since it's formed under the ocean surface, we only have really 3 areas on Earth where these deposits are formed. Where in Canada, we've already seen big gains had, Albania could be the 3rd or the next big region. And they're actually so profitable. There's one company, Nautilus Minerals, which is actually going underwater to mine them miles underneath the sea. That's how valuable these resources are.
Now, if the Albanians have such massive reserves, how come they haven't exploited this themselves already?
Well, for about the past 50 years, up until about 10 years ago, the company was under Enver Hoxha, a Zionist dictator who wouldn't let anyone in from the outside. So although we knew they knew there was massive zinc and copper there, they had trouble separating the two. The Western world has had this technology for more than 50 years. However, the Albanians, they just couldn't separate them. So when they found zinc with copper, because that's the way a VMS is set up, there's a zinc shield on top of the massive copper reserves below. What happens is they found zinc and it was completely useless to them. So they just move on and look for just pure copper, which was kind of tough to find. So they kept hitting zinc and they would just keep moving on. They didn't realize that that's a VMS deposit, It's very big.
When do you see production coming online?
Well, we're not really concerned with production here. However, since we're so very early stage Albania, and that's the opportunity because the company's only been publicly traded for a few weeks now, we're so very early that we're going to find the big opportunity, and still most people don't know about this yet. And with mining companies, we're always concerned with all these questions like how long is it going to take? How good are the grades? What are the future? This one we only have one question, where how big are the deposits? We know they're there, we know they're big, we just don't know how big. We know they're high grade, extremely profitable, and these things are going to make future actual mines out of them. And as part of the super cycle, the next stage, that's going to be a key concern, where kind of most of your low grade, low quality properties will just kind of fade off in the distance, and we'll actually see opportunities like this come into production.
So you have a specific opportunity in mind that you think would benefit stock investors at this point?
Oh, that's correct. We have one company in there has secured all 17 VMS deposits in Albania, the entire district. And normally that would be split up between 17 different companies. Mm-hmm. However, some very quick thinking people discovered this early and went in and secured the entire area, and everything's set up with the government. They've had the same mining law since 1995, I believe, so there's no real political risk there. The country's actually up and coming. They're doing just like Ireland did, cutting their tax rate down to 10%, and when you're there, you just get the feeling like, you know, this is kind of Croatia 5 years ago, or the next like Eastern European country that's just going to do extremely well. So that's kind of what we're looking at.
Well, I'm sure our viewers would like to learn more. Could I get you to write up this information, as I always request, for our website?
Yes, certainly. I have a full report ready, and we'll have it set up for you.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
To read additional information about Andrew's travels and discoveries, go to the homepage of www.todaysfinancialnews.com and look under the Investment Strategies section for this and other valuable investment and trading information. To learn more about Small Cap Commodity Prospector, go to www.smallcapcommodity.com. Please join us next week for another Opportunity for Profits on TFN's Smart Trading Action Alert. For Andrew, Mickey, and todaysfinancialnews.com, I'm Laura Cadden.